Hey guys, so today is going to be a little bit of a different video for my channel. I just kind of want to be real with you guys and tell you guys about what's been going on in my life and kind of a life update slash like how my 2016 has been going. I try to keep this channel very positive and don't really talk about a lot of like real life things that happen. I try and be positive, but my 2016 has been really hard, honestly, and you know, life sometimes throws those curveballs at you, and sometimes life is just hard, and that's basically how my 2016 has been. I started watching a new YouTuber a couple weeks ago, and her channel will be linked down below. It's Carrie. Her channel is 615 Care Bear, but again, it'll be linked down below. And she just kind of made a video like this talking about what's been going on with her life and how her 2016 has been very rough. And I just thought I'd make a very similar video to her because I've experienced a lot of the same things as her this year. So I just want to be real with you guys and let you know that life is not always perfect. My life is not always perfect. I'm sure your life is not always perfect, and we all go through ups and downs, and I just kind of want to talk. So basically, the beginning of the year started off great. Coming into the new year, I spent it with my cousin and with all her kids, and we made a blanket fort for New Year's and just hung out in there. And I was just very positive, really optimistic about the new year, hoping that it would be great and that great things would happen and that this would be my year to do great things, and that's just not how it's happened so far. So coming into the new year, I was waiting to hear back about the school I had been going to. We had some financial issues. I don't want to get too much into it, but basically what the problem was is it is a private school, and because it's a private school, they didn't have to accept all of my loans, and basically they didn't accept some of my loans, so they wanted me to pay a large chunk of money out of pocket, and I couldn't afford to do that, so they kind of kicked me out because I couldn't afford it after one semester. So at the beginning of the year, I didn't know all this. You know, I went into the year optimistic, hoping that they would accept my loans, hoping that they would, you know, help me work through this kind of stuff. They didn't end up doing that, which is why I'm not in school right now, but that's basically the gist of that. So that's the first thing that happened about, that was about the 10th, I believe. I had to go back to my dorm, get all my stuff out of it, and just move on with my life. And so that was really hard, leaving all my friends that I had made over the semester and just friends that were like sisters to me. So that was really hard. And then of course at the end of January was my 21st birthday, and I was super excited for it. I had always had this idea planned out. You know, everybody has their 21st birthday planned out and knows exactly what they want and how they want it to go. And again, that just didn't go my way. We were supposed to get a hotel and go out to all these bars with some of my friends, and a lot of my friends ditched on me and didn't end up going out, so I went out with my mom and a couple of her friends, and it was fun, but you know, going out with your mom for your 21st is not really ideal. And then my mom and her friend were kind of fighting on and off the whole night about something that had happened before, and it just wasn't a great night, a great weekend at all. It just didn't go as planned. It's not that it wasn't great. I had fun, whatever, but it just didn't go as planned. And like I said, going out with your mom for your 21st birthday is not exactly what you want to do, but I'm a loner and my friends decided to ditch me on my birthday. So, and then in February, I was expected to get my tax return back from last year, as most people are, and I did get it back, and it got put into my bank account. And basically when they put it in the bank account, they put the wrong amount in the bank account, and they had basically ripped me out of $2,000 over something that I'm still not really sure what happened, but I basically got cheated out of $2,000 of my tax return, so I only got like a couple $100s back, which was a bummer because I was planning on using that money to get my own apartment and get my own job and get out of the house. It was the bank's fault, not the IRS. So that was just a bummer. And then at the end of February basically is when all this loss started happening. February is already a hard month for my family, as it is the month that my grandparents died, both on the same day, on February 7th of 2000. And so it's already a very hard month for us to kind of deal with. And then this year on the 20th of February, we got a phone call about one of our really close cousins, Matthew Shriver, and he had passed away. And so that was really hard. Matthew was like a brother to me, and I even made a tribute video to him, if you guys have seen it. I made two. I made one on my vlog channel and one on this channel, so I will link them both down below so you guys can go see them. But Matthew was like a brother to me. He was more like an uncle, like a best friend, and we miss him greatly. And so that was really hard to deal with. It was sudden. Nobody really expected it, and it just really sucks. He was only in his 30s, and it was just really unfortunate. It really brought me down for a long time, and I really didn't want to get out of bed, didn't want to film videos, didn't really want to do anything. Death is something I'm unfortunately very familiar with, so I went through the grieving process and then kind of moved on and continued on with life. Then in March, things kind of calmed down a little bit. On the first day of April, I ended up getting really sick. We thought it was the flu for a long time. And I have a phobia that also Carrie has, who I was talking about earlier. She made a whole video talking about emetophobia, but basically it's a fear of vomiting or getting sick. And so for someone with emetophobia who gets the flu or gets sick, it's very stressful. We thought it was the flu for a long time, and then after a couple days, it was like 4 or 5 days, and it still had not went away. I was still in significant amount of pain in my abdomen area, and I still couldn't hold down even water for a long time. So I ended up going to the hospital, and they checked me for gallstones. At the hospital, they did an ultrasound and all that stuff in the ER, and then I had to schedule an appointment with a surgeon later that month to figure out what was actually going on and to have more tests run. While we were waiting for that appointment to come, my anatomy teacher in high school had his twin girls very early. I believe they were born at like 24 weeks, and so that was stressful on the community as a whole. We have prayed for them, and they have improved greatly now, and I'm so thankful for that. But it was really hard on a lot of people in this community, and especially his family, and it really, again, just hit hard with me because him and his wife both were teachers of mine, and I was very close with him, and he helped me through a lot. My senior year, I dealt with a lot my senior year, and I spent a lot of time in his room. For them, it was a very scary situation, and also for everybody who knew them and everything like that, but thankfully they have improved now. They're doing great. I'm sure most of you guys watching are from my town and know who I'm talking about and everything, so I am thankful that they are doing a lot better, and hopefully we'll get to come home soon. At the time, it was just very stressful. We didn't know what was going to happen, and we didn't really know what to think as a community about this situation, so it was very hard on the whole community, the whole small town that I live in. So also, throughout the month of April, I decided to try and go back to therapy. So basically, I have struggled with anxiety and depression basically my entire life. I was diagnosed at I think 11 or 12 with both anxiety and depression. So I have been to therapy before, I've been on medication for it before, and every time it just never worked out for me. Either I was on the wrong medication and didn't like how it made me feel, or the therapist, me and the therapist, I was going to just wouldn't click, and I would end up going off my medication and all that kind of stuff. I decided at the beginning of April that I was going to try and go back to therapy because of everything that had been happening. It had just been affected me a lot. My anxiety was high, my depression was getting high again, and I just decided I was going to try it again, and I did. The whole process of getting back in it was a little stressful because I didn't know, what was going to happen. I didn't know how my therapist was going to be, but it all turned out great. I love my therapist now. I go to therapy twice a month. I see a psychiatrist once a month, and I am on pills for my anxiety right now. We're just easing into it right now, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. I do want to make a full video about my mental health journey, I guess, so I will do that later. But anyway, so that happened in April, and then closer to the end of April into May, I found out that what I actually had the beginning of April was not gallstones, it was an enlarged gallbladder. And so they ran a bunch of tests basically and found out that my gallbladder was enlarged, which I have made videos about this too. Basically, my gallbladder is at 90%, and it has to be a lot lower than that to be able to take it out. I don't think it was the cause of me being sick at that particular moment. So basically, they didn't find out anything. I spent the entire month of April basically sick constantly, and eventually I got better. I don't know what I had, if it was just a flu or some kind of bug, or if it did have to do with my gallbladder. I still don't know, but I have been better since, so that is great. And then May, things started getting a little bit better again. I started going out more. Me and my friend would go to graduation parties, and we'd go out and just do more stuff just to get out and away. Me and my mom started fighting more in May a little bit, I think just because of everything that had happened. Everybody's emotions and hormones and everything was very, very high, and so it was easy to get on each other's nerves. And so we fought a lot throughout the month of May, and then into June it ended up getting really, really bad. I ended up moving out for about a week and then coming back. Obviously I'm here now, but I did move out for a week just because the fighting had progressed so much that it was getting really, really bad, and I felt like I needed to get away just to kind of separate each other for a little bit and reevaluate our emotions and kind of separate and just be mad separately and not have to see each other and that kind of stuff. And then of course I moved back, and we still bicker. We're still mother-daughter, we still bicker a lot, but again, that situation has gotten a lot better now. Of course, going into June, I'm sure all you guys already know what I'm going to say about June. Of course, with the Orlando shooting happening in June, and also the Christina Grimmie thing happening, that affected, I feel like, everybody really a lot. And the Christina Grimmie thing especially just hit really, really hard for me. I made a video talking about this before too, but Christina Grimmie, me and her had been friends way back in the day when she had first started making YouTube videos. We used to do live streams and talk on Twitter all the time, and while she had gotten more successful and we had kind of lost contact as she got more successful, it still was very hard for me. She was such a great woman, and she has accomplished so much in her life and could have accomplished so much more, and it was just very devastating that somebody would kill someone as sweet as Christina, and it still blows my mind. And I posted a video on Facebook today of they are releasing her EP, and they just released the first video off of it, so I will link that down below and you guys can go watch that as well. I'll link a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about down below so you can see, but that just really, really hit me hard. And then of course the Orlando shooting hit really, really hard. Just to think that somebody would do something like that is beyond me. And again, I think this goes without saying that it affected everybody. And then another tragedy struck in my community. As you guys might or might not know, most of you guys are probably from West Virginia, but at the end of June, flooding started happening in various parts of the state. Very, very high waters, and a lot of people have been killed. There's still bodies that have not been found, and it was just devastating as a community. Again, another tragedy that happened that kind of just made me want to stay in bed and hug all the ones that I love, and because the real world is dangerous, especially when it comes to natural disasters that nobody can really prevent. And then this last month, July, has been super hard for me, and now leading into August is also being really hard. I have lost 6 people that I know of in the past 2.5 weeks. We had a cookout at my aunt's house with all of that side of the family for the 4th, and a couple days later, on the actual 4th, we went to my hometown with a friend of ours, John, and we hung out and watched the fireworks. Things had started looking up, which I have a vlog on 4th of July if you guys want to see all this. And then on the 5th of July, we lost another person in our life, Catalina. It's my stepdad's brother. It's his girlfriend's granddaughter. So basically it is my uncle's step granddaughter, if that makes sense. She was 18, I believe. They live out in Arizona, where my uncle is originally from and my dad's side of the family is originally from. And so I had only met her, I think, once. She came up here and we had a cookout together. It was just really hard to think about an 18-year-old, and she was so beautiful. That was kind of the start of the tragedy for my life that has been the last couple weeks. And then all these like Black Lives Matter shootings just kind of started happening, which again was something that affected a lot of people, and I don't really want to get into that, but obviously that affected me. And then around the middle of the month, around the 10th or 11th, I believe, my car broke down, which my car is a 2015, so it was just like, are you serious? Like another thing that's happening. And I'm still fighting with them. If you guys watch my vlog channel, you know a little bit about that. But basically, I'm still fighting with the dealership to get them to fix my car. We have a rental car right now, and my stepdad just bought a new car as well. So basically, we're just fighting with them, trying to get them to fix my car because it's under warranty. And anyways, I talk more about that on my vlog channel that you guys can go watch if you want. So that was a big ordeal, and it was just like another thing to add to the list. And then nearing the end of the month, on the 27th, we got a phone call that morning about my friend John, who I had just spent the 4th of July with. He had passed away on the 27th of June, just a couple weeks after we had just seen him. He had apparently been dealing with this a long time. He needed a heart transplant and didn't tell anybody, and he was scheduled for one, but his heart gave out on him before it happened, is apparently what happened. That's what we've heard. And so that was just another tragedy, and that was really hard to deal with. And then obviously I went to his funeral, and we left his funeral, came home, literally was driving home from his funeral, and I got a phone call about another one of my friends, Robert, who passed away on the 31st of July. And me and him were never really super close, but his girlfriend went to school with me in college, and we kind of hung out a little bit there. And I had obviously seen him around school, and he went to vocational school with us, which was in a program in high school. We were decent friends, I guess, but we were never super close. But again, it was still so tragic. He was only a year older than me. Another super devastating loss for this community. We have suffered so much loss this year. And then getting into August now, on the 3rd of this month, we lost another person in our community, Ashley, which is a friend of ours' daughter. And that was just another hard loss for the community and for us. I didn't know her extremely well either. I had just seen her in passing around town, but it was still just like, how much more loss can we take in this community? So very recently, my stepdad's uncle, Danny, had passed away. He passed away of a work-related injury, and I won't get into the details of it because nobody needs to know. So that was also very devastating. We're still dealing with that. My stepdad has been super upset about it because, again, it was a work-related accident and it was very not expected. That's just been something we've been dealing with. We still have his funeral to go to on Monday. It is Thursday, the day I'm filming this. It is the 11th, and he just passed away on Monday of this week, so very, very recently. And then the most recent of all, I woke up this morning to find out another friend of mine who I went to school with passed away, Sabrina. I know she was in the hospital for a while having some problems, but I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Again, me and her weren't super close, but she did go to school with me and I saw her in passing, and she was always very friendly, very nice, and was always smiling and laughing, and so that's just another loss for this community. It's just so much loss has happened this year, and just letting you guys know, I'm not making this video in any way, shape, or form to ask for pity for my life. I live a pretty privileged life compared to most people. I am definitely blessed, but this year has just been hard. I know there's people out there that have it way worse than me. I have a roof over my head, I have food in my stomach, and I almost hate making an update video like this. The reason why I'm making this video, to let you guys know that if you guys are suffering through loss, that you are not the only one. If you are having a lot of issues in 2016, again, you're not the only one. Everybody has ups and downs in life, and that's just part of going through the process of life. This year has just been not such a great year for me, regardless of all the loss and all the shitty things that have happened to me this year. I know that the people I have lost would want me to remain optimistic and to keep going, and you know, life goes on, shitty things happen, but you just have to move on. But I do want to let you guys know, if you have somebody in your life you are fighting with, somebody you love, if your family's fighting, if you're fighting with one of your friends, with anybody, please, please, please just let them know how much you love them and how much they mean to you, because you could wake up tomorrow and they will not be here anymore, and that's just so crazy to think about. But that is the number one most important lesson I have learned this year, is just hold those that you love closely and let them know that how much they mean to you, because you know, you never know when they might be gone. Nobody is promised tomorrow, and as sad as that sounds, it's the truth. I have lost people, you know, that I thought I had so much more time with, and you know, don't take advantage of the time you have with somebody. I didn't get to say goodbye to these people. I didn't get to express to them how much they meant to me. So I want to encourage you guys today to let everybody in your life know what they mean to you and how much you care about them, because you might not get a chance to ever say that to them. So don't take advantage of the time you have and say it today while they're still here. This was not a video to talk about how shitty my life was. It's just, I want to get out to you that, you know, everybody has these moments and that you need to cherish the moments you have. Just let these people know how much you mean to them and cherish the moments that you have, because again, not every day is promised and these people could be gone in a blink of an eye. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video. I know it's very long, very ranty, but I felt like it was important to get this message out there and to give you guys a real, true, down-to-earth update on my life and how things have been going, because my videos are usually very happy, and you know, I'm not always a happy person, so I wanted to be real with you guys and share some of the not so happy moments with you. So anyways, go tell everybody that you love them. Choose love, guys, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.